Have you ever wondered why certain people come into your life just to cause chaos and pain? Why do narcissists seem drawn to you, draining your energy and testing your patience? What if I told you this is no accident? See, God doesn't just allow challenges, He uses them. And yes, that includes narcissists. You might think they were sent to destroy you, but in reality, they are part of your transformation. Every betrayal, every manipulation, every heartbreak, they are shaping you into something greater. The enemy thought he was breaking you, but God was building you. Narcissists are obsessed with controlling others. But here's the twist. They always target chosen ones. Why? Because they sense your power before you even fully realize it. They see your light and it terrifies them. So they try to dim it with lies, gaslighting, and manipulation. But what happens when a chosen one wakes up? Game over. Stay with me till the end, because today I'm revealing how and why God allows narcissists in your life and how you can flip the script on them. It's time to reclaim your power. Before we dive in, drop a comment if you've ever dealt with a narcissist. Let's build a powerful community where we uplift each other, expose the truth, and step into our divine calling. You're not alone. Show love, stay strong, and let's get started. Most people think narcissists come into their lives just to bring pain, confusion, and heartbreak. They lie, manipulate, and try to control everything around them. It feels unfair, doesn't it? But what if I told you that God is using them for something much bigger than you can see right now? At first, narcissists seem charming and confident. They make you feel special, like you matter more than anyone else. But slowly, their true nature comes out. They criticize you, twist your words, and make you question yourself. It's exhausting, it's painful, and it makes you wonder, why did God allow this person into my life? Here's the truth. God never wastes anything, not even your pain. Every time a narcissist tries to break you, they are actually revealing something deeper. Maybe they're showing you your own strength. Maybe they're teaching you to set boundaries. Maybe they're pushing you to rely on God instead of people. You see, God doesn't send narcissists to destroy you. He allows them to shape you. Like fire purifies gold, these experiences refine you, making you wiser and stronger. The very person who tried to tear you down is unknowingly helping you rise. That's the irony, that's the twist. Think about it. Without the pain they caused, would you have grown the way you have? Would you have learned to see through deception? Would you have realized your worth? Probably not. So instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Start asking, what is God trying to teach me through this? Because when you shift your perspective, you take back your power. And the best part? The narcissist who thought they were in control actually played right into God's plan for your growth. That's how God works, turning every attack into a lesson, every betrayal into a blessing, and every setback into a setup for something greater. Most people see narcissists as enemies, people who come into their lives just to hurt, manipulate, and drain them. And yes, their actions are cruel, their words are sharp, and their presence can feel suffocating. But what if there's something deeper happening? What if God isn't just letting this happen, but using it for a greater purpose? Narcissists don't just cross your path by accident. They come into your life as a test, a divine test, meant to refine you, not destroy you. Think about it. When gold is purified, it has to go through intense fire. The heat burns away all the impurities, leaving only what is strong and valuable. That's exactly what happens when a chosen one faces a narcissist. At first, it feels like you're being broken. The lies, manipulation, and emotional games can leave you questioning yourself. But this is where the real transformation begins. God is allowing this experience to show you who you really are. You are not weak, you are not lost, you are being shaped into someone wiser, stronger, and more resilient. Narcissists test your boundaries, forcing you to learn self-respect. They test your patience, teaching you when to walk away. They test your faith, making you lean on God more than ever before. Every challenge they throw at you is actually building you up, tearing you down. This is why narcissists always target chosen ones. They sense your strength before you even realize it yourself. But what they don't know is that God is using them as part of your training. They think they have the power, but in the end, they are only pushing you closer to your divine purpose. What was meant to break you is actually making you unshakable. Narcissists don't just choose anyone to manipulate, control, or destroy. They are drawn to specific people. People who radiate something they don't have. And if you've been targeted by a narcissist, it's not because you are weak, it's because you are powerful. There is something inside you, something divinely gifted that the enemy desperately wants to steal. From the moment you step into your calling, darkness notices. The enemy recognizes the light you carry before you even realize it yourself. That's why narcissists are so drawn to chosen ones. They don't just want to hurt you for no reason. They want to take something from you. Your energy, your faith, your confidence, your sense of purpose. Because when a chosen one fully awakens, they are unstoppable. Think about it. Have you ever noticed how a narcissist fixates on you as if they are obsessed? How they love bomb you, making you feel special, only to later break you down piece by piece? This isn't random, it's a calculated attack. The enemy uses narcissists as tools to weaken chosen ones, hoping they'll become so exhausted, so broken that they forget who they are. But here's where things backfire. The enemy may try to steal your power, but they can never truly take what God has given you. Yes, the narcissist may drain you for a time. They may confuse you, make you doubt yourself, and even push you to the brink of giving up. But God is always one step ahead. What was meant to steal from you will actually reveal your greatest strength. When a chosen one faces a narcissist, something happens. You start to see the truth. You begin to recognize patterns, to understand manipulation, to see beyond illusions. Your spiritual vision sharpens. And as painful as the experience may be, it wakes you up to your own divine power. That's why the enemy fights so hard to keep you trapped. They fear what happens when you break free. Because once you do, you become untouchable. You become a force that can no longer be controlled, deceived, or manipulated. And when a chosen one rises, they don't rise alone. They wake up others along the way. So, if you face narcissists in your life, understand this. It wasn't a coincidence. It was proof of the power you carry. The enemy wouldn't fight for something that isn't valuable. And you? You were never meant to stay broken. You were meant to rise. Every betrayal, every lie, every manipulation, none of it was wasted. What felt like deep wounds, what seemed like endless pain, it was all part of something bigger. At first, it doesn't make sense. Why would God allow so much heartbreak? Why let people enter your life only to deceive you, hurt you, and turn against you? It feels unfair. It feels like you're being broken over and over again. But what if I told you, you weren't being broken, you were being trained? Chosen ones don't just wake up one day, fully strong, wise, and unshakable. They are shaped through fire. And that fire, it often comes in the form of betrayal, manipulation, and deception. The very people you trusted the most were used as lessons, not to destroy you, but to refine you. Think about it. If you were never lied to, how would you learn to discern truth? If you were never manipulated, how would you recognize deception? If you were never betrayed, how would you know who truly deserves your loyalty? Every painful experience sharpened you. It forced you to see things clearly. It pushed you closer to your purpose. The enemy thought those betrayals would break you, but instead they made you unstoppable. You no longer fall for sweet words with empty intentions. You no longer give your energy to those who drain you. You no longer ignore the red flags that once blinded you. You've gained wisdom that can't be taught in books. It had to be lived. And this is why chosen ones walk differently. They've been through too much to be fooled again. They've suffered enough to understand their worth. And when they rise with a strength no one can shake. So if you ever wonder why you went through so much pain, know this: it wasn't to break you. It was to build you into something greater than you ever imagined. Narcissists don't just come into your life to cause pain. They serve a deeper purpose. They are mirrors reflecting back the parts of yourself that need healing. At first, it seems like they are the only problem. Their manipulation, their cruelty, their mind games. It's easy to focus on how much they hurt you. But if you look deeper, you'll see something powerful. They reveal your own wounds, your own weaknesses, and the places where you still need growth. Think about it. If a narcissist made you feel unworthy, was there already a part of you that doubted your worth? If they constantly made you seek their approval, was there a wound inside you craving validation? If they shattered your trust, was it because you ignored your intuition, letting fear or attachment override your inner voice? This is how God uses them, not to destroy you, but to awaken you. A narcissist exposes your weak spots not so you stay broken, zrenia, but so you can heal them. They force you to confront the shadows within yourself, the fears, the self-doubt, the patterns that have kept you stuck. Every encounter with them is a test, a lesson, and an opportunity to rise. And once you do, once you heal, once you reclaim your power, once you recognize your true worth, narcissists lose their grip on you. They can no longer manipulate you because you no longer seek what they pretend to offer. They can no longer control you because you stand firm in who you are. Spiritual warfare is not just about fighting external enemies, it's about overcoming the battles within. And narcissists, they are nothing more than stepping stones on your path to becoming the strongest version of yourself. Narcissists don't just appear in your life by accident. They are sent as distractions, designed to drain your energy, waste your time, and pull you away from your purpose. The enemy knows that if you stay focused, if you fully step into your calling, you will be unstoppable. So what does he do? He places narcissists in your path, hoping they will break you before you realize your true power. At first, it works. They come in like a dream, pretending to be everything you've ever wanted. They charm you, praise you, make you feel special, but slowly things shift. The manipulation begins, the gaslighting, the lies. You start questioning yourself. You start doubting your intuition. You become so caught up in their chaos that you don't even notice how far you've drifted from your purpose. But here's where the enemy's plan backfires. What was meant to distract you actually sharpens you. Every time a narcissist deceives you, your discernment grows stronger. Every time they manipulate you, your awareness deepens. You start seeing through illusions. You start trusting your gut. What used to fool you no longer works because now you know the patterns. Now you recognize the signs. God allows narcissists in your life not to harm you, but to teach you, to train you, to sharpen your spiritual vision so that when real danger comes, you can sense it before it even reaches you. They were never meant to break you, they were meant to build your strength. So the next time you look back on what a narcissist put you through, don't see it as a loss. See it as preparation. You are wiser now, you are stronger now, and most importantly, you are no longer easily deceived. Narcissists love control. They thrive on power, manipulation, and the illusion that they are the masters of your fate. They enter your life with one goal: to mold you, to break you, to keep you trapped in their web. They gaslight you, twist reality, and play mind games to make you question yourself. At first, it seems like they're winning. They drain your energy. They make you doubt your worth. They isolate you from the truth. You feel stuck, trapped in a cycle of emotional highs and devastating lows. But what they don't realize, what they will never understand, is that every move they make against you is actually working in your favor. What the enemy means for evil, God uses for good. The enemy sends narcissists to tear you down, but God flips the script. Every tear you shed, every betrayal you endure, every painful moment, it's all part of something greater. What narcissists think is breaking you is actually pushing you into a deeper level of faith, wisdom, and purpose. They make you question yourself, but in the end, you learn to trust God more than anyone. They isolate you, but in that solitude, you find your true connection with God. They break your heart, but in that heartbreak, you discover the strength God placed inside you. They think they're leading you when really they're just guiding you right into God's hands. Narcissists are unintentional teachers. They don't know it, but narcissists are actually serving your spiritual growth. Every manipulation teaches you discernment. Every betrayal teaches you self-worth. Every attempt to control you teaches you how to break free. Before encountering them, you may have been too trusting, too open, too willing to give people the benefit of the doubt. But after walking through their deception, you start seeing things differently. Your eyes open, your intuition sharpens. You begin to recognize the tactics and protect yourself. Instead of breaking you, they shape you. Instead of making you weaker, they make you stronger. God's plan is always greater. Here's the truth: no weapon formed against you will prosper. Isaiah 54:17. The narcissist thought they were in control, but they were only a tool in God's bigger plan for your life. Every time they tried to take you down, God was lifting you up. Every time they tried to silence you, God was preparing you to speak louder. Every time they made you feel small, God was reminding you that you are chosen, powerful, and meant for more. And now, you are no longer the same person they tried to break. You have transformed. You have risen. And the best part? They no longer have any power over you. Because in the end, their control was just an illusion. While God's purpose for you was always real. Narcissists leave behind deep wounds, rejection, pain, and emotional turmoil that can feel unbearable. But what if that pain wasn't meant to destroy you, but to build you? What if every moment of heartbreak, every time they made you feel small, was actually part of God's plan to make you stronger? The enemy wants you to believe that rejection means you are not worthy, that you are not enough, that something is wrong with you. But the truth is, rejection is often God's redirection. It is His way of pulling you away from the people who were never meant to go where you are headed. It is His way of teaching you that your worth does not come from people, but from Him. Narcissists try to make you seek their approval, to mold yourself into whatever they want, just to earn their love. But in the end, they never truly love because they are incapable of it. They reject you, they betray you, they discard you like you never mattered. And yet this is where God steps in. The pain they cause pushes you to look within, to rebuild yourself from the inside out. You start realizing that your value was never tied to their validation. You begin to see that your strength does not come from their approval, but from God's purpose for your life. Every time they made you feel like you were nothing, God was whispering, "You are mine, you are chosen, you are stronger than this." The rejection that once broke you becomes the very thing that fuels your growth. The pain that made you feel weak becomes the foundation of your resilience. And one day, you will look back and see that what was meant to crush you only made you rise higher. Because in the end, their rejection was never about your worth, it was about your destiny. Narcissists are like moths to a flame. They are irresistibly drawn to the light of a chosen one. They crave power, control, and dominance. But deep down, They recognize something in you that they can never possess, true inner light. While they manipulate, deceive, and build their false sense of superiority, you carry something real, something divine. Your kindness, your empathy, your strength, and your spiritual connection threaten everything they stand for. They don't just want to control you, they want to dim your light because it exposes their darkness. At first, they come in like a perfect match, mirroring your deepest desires, pretending to be everything you've ever wanted. But it's not love, it's a game. They study you, they test you, they push your boundaries, all to see if they can break you down. Why? Because your light unsettles them. Your presence alone reminds them of everything they lack: true confidence, genuine love, and spiritual alignment. The enemy uses them as distractions, hoping they will drain your energy, weaken your spirit, and make you doubt your own worth. But what the narcissist fails to realize is that chosen ones are built to withstand the storm. You were never meant to be controlled, silenced, or dimmed. You were meant to shine, to rise, to lead. And every attempt they make to tear you down only strengthens your resilience, sharpens your discernment, and deepens your connection with God. The more they try to suppress you, the brighter you become. They think they are pulling you into their darkness, but in reality, you are exposing their lies and stepping fully into your divine purpose. Narcissists don't just stumble into your life by accident. They are drawn to you like magnets because of the power you carry. They sense something different about you, something they can't quite explain but desperately want to control. It's your light, your goodness, your spiritual depth. While they operate in deception and illusion, you operate in truth and authenticity. They recognize, even if they won't admit it, that you have something real, something they will never have, and that both fascinates and enrages them. At first, they are charming, presenting themselves as exactly what you need. They study you, mirror you, make you feel seen and understood. But it's all a carefully crafted illusion, a strategy to get close enough to manipulate and control you. They want access to your energy, your kindness, your strength, but not to nurture it. They want to drain it, to mold it into something they can use for themselves, because in their world, power is not about love or mutual respect. It's about dominance and submission. And they cannot stand the fact that you were never meant to submit to them. But here's the truth they don't want to face. Chosen ones cannot be controlled. You were never meant to shrink yourself to fit into their distorted reality. You were never meant to be dimmed so that they could shine. Your very existence threatens everything they believe about power. And that's why they fight so hard to break you. Because deep down they know that if you ever fully step into your strength, they lose all control. So they test you, they betray you, they gaslight you. Not because you are weak, but because they see how strong you are. They hope to wear you down, to make you doubt your worth, to keep you questioning yourself, so you never realize the full extent of your power. But what they don't understand is that every attack only makes you stronger. Every betrayal pushes you closer to God. Every manipulation sharpens your discernment. Every lie they tell only reinforces your need for truth. They think they are breaking you, but in reality, they are refining you. You are learning. You are growing. You are transforming. And one day you will look back and see that what was meant to destroy you was actually the very thing that led you straight into your divine purpose. Because no matter how hard they try, they can never steal what God has placed inside you. Narcissists don't just choose their targets randomly. They can sense something about you before you even realize it yourself. It's an energy, a presence, a divine anointing that sets you apart. While others may see just another person, they see a soul with power, purpose, and favor, and that terrifies them. They know that if you fully awaken to who you are, their influence over you will crumble. They know that if you step into your calling, you will become unstoppable. So what do? They attack strategically, deliberately, and consistently. They don't just want to hurt you, they want to drain you, confuse you, and weaken you before you fully understand your own power. At first, they disguise themselves as supporters, admirers, or even lovers. They mirror your dreams, pretend to share your values, and make you feel like they truly see you. But it's all an illusion, a carefully crafted deception to get close enough to influence you. Because the enemy doesn't send attacks from a distance, he sends them through the people closest to you. And once they have access, the draining begins. The constant criticisms, the emotional manipulation, the back and forth mind games, all designed to exhaust you. They create chaos in your life, making you question your decisions, your worth, and even your faith. They want you so caught up in their drama that you don't have the time or energy to focus on your calling. They want to keep you distracted, disoriented, and doubting yourself. But here's what they don't realize. What they meant to weaken you, God is using to strengthen you. Every attack is sharpening your discernment. Every betrayal is teaching you to rely on God, not man. Every attempt to drain you is forcing you to protect your energy and prioritize your spiritual well-being. What they hoped would destroy you is actually preparing you. Because a chosen one doesn't rise in comfort, they rise in battle. And as painful as it is, every battle is making you stronger. Every wound is deepening your wisdom. Every moment of rejection is realigning you with your true purpose. And one day, the very people who tried to break you will watch as you step into the power they feared all along. Because your anointing isn't something they can steal. It isn't something they can drain. It's something God placed inside you, and no force, no matter how deceptive or manipulative, can take it away. Narcissists don't just manipulate, lie, or gaslight. They isolate. And they do it for one very specific reason. Your awakening is a direct threat to their illusion of control. They don't want you to see your power. They don't want you to recognize your divine anointing. Because the moment you do, you become untouchable. The moment you awaken, their games, their tactics, and their control shatter like glass. So they work hard to keep you in the dark. At first, they love bomb you, making you feel like you are the most special, most important person in the world. They mirror your energy, your dreams, and your values so well that it feels like they were sent by God. But this is only a setup for what's coming next. Slowly, without you even noticing, they begin cutting you off from the people who truly care about you. They plant seeds of doubt about your friends, your family, and even your own intuition. They'll say things like, "I don't think that friend really has your best interests at heart. Your family doesn't understand you like I do. Why do you need them when you have me?" It's subtle at first, but over time, they create an environment where you feel alone, dependent, and trapped in their world. Why? Because isolation is their greatest weapon. When you're alone, you become easier to manipulate. When you don't have outside perspectives, you start to believe their version of reality. They can distort the truth, rewrite history, and make you question your own mind, all while making you feel like they're the only one who truly understands you. But here's the truth. They don't want you to know. Chosen ones were never meant to walk alone, but neither were they meant to be surrounded by the wrong people. The enemy uses narcissists as distractions, hoping to keep you from connecting with the right people. People who will remind you of who you are. People who will push you toward your purpose. People who will help you step fully into your divine power. So the narcissist isolates you, making sure those voices of truth are nowhere near you. They know that if you remain in their web long enough, you'll start to doubt your worth. You'll start to shrink yourself to fit their narrative, and eventually you'll forget that you were never meant to live under their control. But what they fail to realize is that God always has a plan for escape. When isolation becomes your awakening, at first it feels like you're losing everything. The people you love seem distant. The life you once knew feels like a blur. You start to feel like you're stuck in a world designed by the narcissist, a world where their voice is the only one that matters. But in that isolation, something else happens. You start to hear God more clearly. The distractions are gone, the noise of the world fades, and in that silence you begin to see the truth. You begin to realize that the narcissist's words were never the voice of love, they were the voice of control. You begin to recognize the manipulation for what it was, an attempt to keep you small, dependent, and blind to your own strength. And once that realization hits, everything changes. You stop seeking their approval. You stop playing by their rules. And most importantly, you start reclaiming your power. The moment a chosen one awakens, the narcissist loses all control. Because their power was never real. It was an illusion that only worked when you believed in it. And now that you see the truth, their illusion crumbles. They try to pull you back in. They use guilt, anger, and even fake apologies. But it's too late. You've seen behind the mask. And now, instead of being isolated in their world, you step fully into yours. The rise of a chosen. Once you break free, everything starts to shift. You begin attracting the right people, people who pour into you rather than drain you. You start rediscovering your purpose, aligning with the calling you were meant to fulfill. And most importantly, you realize that the isolation the narcissist used to break you was actually the very thing God used to awaken you. Because chosen ones don't stay trapped. They rise, and when they do, the ones who tried to keep them down are left with nothing but their shattered illusions. Narcissists are convinced they hold all the power. They manipulate, deceive, and control, believing they are the architects of your downfall. But what they don't realize is this. Chosen ones are not meant to be broken. They are meant to be transformed. And every attack, every betrayal, every mind game, it's only fueling your awakening. At first, the narcissist seems unstoppable. They know exactly what to say, how to make you question yourself, how to twist your reality. They strip you of your confidence, chip away at your spirit, and make you feel like you are nothing without them. They enjoy watching you suffer. They believe they are winning. But here's where they make their biggest mistake. They assume you will stay down. They assume you will never find your strength. They assume that once they have torn you apart, you will never put yourself back together. But what they fail to understand is that destruction is often the beginning of transformation. The breaking point, or the awakening. For a while, you might feel like you are losing yourself. The gaslighting, the emotional manipulation, the constant invalidation, it all weighs heavy on your soul. You may even start believing the lies. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I am the problem. Maybe I'll never escape this cycle. And this is exactly what the narcissist wants. They want you to forget who you are. They want you to lose sight of your power, your worth, your divine calling. But then something shifts, a moment of clarity, a spark of truth, a whisper from God reminding you, this is not your final chapter. That's when everything starts to unravel, not for you, but for the narcissist. The transformation they never saw coming. What the narcissist never expected was for their abuse to serve as the fire that forges your strength. What they thought would break you only purified you. Instead of staying silent, you find your voice. Instead of shrinking, you expand. Instead of depending on them, you turn inward toward God, toward your higher self, toward your true purpose. Every painful experience becomes a lesson. Every betrayal becomes fuel for your growth. Every wound they inflicted becomes a scar that tells a story, not of defeat, but of victory. The more they try to keep you down, the higher you rise. Narcissists are convinced they hold all the power. They manipulate, deceive, and control, believing they are the architects of your downfall. But what they don't realize is this: chosen ones are not meant to be broken. They are meant to be transformed. And every attack, every betrayal, every mind game, it's only fueling your awakening. At first, the narcissist seems unstoppable. They know exactly what to say, how to make you question yourself, how to twist your reality. They strip you of your confidence, chip away at your spirit, and make you feel like you are nothing without them. They enjoy watching you suffer. They believe they are winning. But here's where they make their biggest mistake. They assume you will stay down. They assume you will never find your strength. They assume that once they have torn you apart, you will never put yourself back together. But what they fail to understand is that destruction is often the beginning of transformation, the breaking point or the awakening. For a while, you might feel like you are losing yourself. The gaslighting, the emotional manipulation, the constant invalidation, it all weighs heavy on your soul. You may even start believing the lies. Maybe I'm not good enough. Maybe I am the problem. Maybe I'll never escape this cycle. And this is exactly what the narcissist wants. They want you to forget who you are. They want you to lose sight of your power, your worth, your divine calling. But then something shifts, a moment of clarity, a spark of truth, a whisper from God reminding you, this is not your final chapter. That's when everything starts to unravel, not for you, but for the narcissist, the transformation they never saw coming. What the narcissist never expected was for their abuse to serve as the fire that forges your strength. What they thought would break you only purified you. Instead of staying silent, you find your voice. Instead of shrinking, you expand. Instead of depending on them, you turn inward, toward God, toward your higher self, toward your true purpose. Every painful experience becomes a lesson. Every betrayal becomes fuel for your growth. Every wound they inflicted becomes a scar that tells a story, not of defeat, but of victory. The more they try to keep you down, the higher you rise, and suddenly the power dynamic shifts. They see the change in you, they sense your transformation, and now they are the ones who are afraid. Why? Because a chosen one who knows their power cannot be controlled. A fully awakened, chosen one is the narcissist's greatest nightmare. Why? Because you no longer respond to their manipulation. Their guilt trips no longer affect you. Their insults bounce off you like nothing. Their attempts to control you, useless. You see through the illusion, you recognize their tactics, and most importantly, you know they were never as powerful as they pretended to be. The final blow, you walk away, they lose everything. The moment a chosen one stops engaging, the narcissist loses all control. They will try everything, fake apologies, love bombing, gaslighting, but none of it works anymore because you have changed. What they once saw as weakness, they now see as unstoppable strength, and that terrifies them. They were never prepared for this outcome. They thought they could break you, but instead, they activated something far more powerful, your transformation. And now, as you walk away, you leave them to face the truth. They never had power over you. They only had the power you once gave them. And now, that power is yours again. At first, it seemed like the narcissist had won. They walked away without consequence, leaving you broken, confused, and questioning everything. They lied about you, manipulated others against you, and did everything in their power to tear you down while they seemed to thrive. You watched as they moved on effortlessly, smiling as if they had never done anything wrong, as if the damage they caused didn't exist. It felt unfair. It felt like God had turned a blind eye to your suffering. But what you didn't see was that God was moving in silence. He wasn't ignoring your pain. He was taking note of everything. Narcissists believe they are untouchable. They build a false world where they are always right, always in control, always one step ahead. They deceive, manipulate, and destroy with no remorse, believing they will never face consequences. But they forget one crucial thing: God is watching. He sees what is done in the dark. He hears the whispers, the lies, the deceit. And while they think they are getting away with everything, God is preparing a divine reckoning. The most terrifying thing for a narcissist isn't immediate punishment, it's the slow unraveling of everything they built. And when God's justice comes, it doesn't come with loud warnings or grand displays. It comes quietly but powerfully in ways they never see coming. The same people they manipulated, they start waking up. The ones who believed their lies, they begin to see through the mask. The control they thought they had over everyone, it starts slipping through their fingers. Little by little, God begins exposing them, not through revenge, but through truth. Their false image starts to crack. Their power weakens. And just as they tried to strip you of your dignity, their own deception begins to consume them. The ones who once stood by them in ignorance begin to walk away, realizing they were fooled. The charm, the lies, the control, it all starts to lose its effect. And the narcissist? They begin to panic. But while they fall, God is raising you up. The very things they tried to destroy in you, God is restoring, stronger than before. The wounds they inflicted, God is turning into wisdom. The isolation they forced upon you, God used to strengthen your connection with Him. You are no longer the person they tried to break. You are wiser, you are stronger, you are unshakable. And just as they tried to make you invisible, God is putting you in a position where they can't ignore you anymore. God's justice doesn't just punish the wicked, it elevates the righteous. And when He lifts you up, He does it in a way that leaves no doubt. He places you above the very people who tried to bury you. The ones who mocked you are forced to watch as you rise. The ones who doubted you have no choice but to see your success. The narcissist who thought they had control over your destiny, they now have to witness how God's favor has made you unstoppable. But here's the most powerful part. God doesn't even need your help to make it happen. You don't have to seek revenge. You don't have to expose them yourself. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Just keep walking in your purpose. Keep trusting in God. Keep focusing on the path He has laid before you. Because when God moves, He moves in ways that no one can deny. And when He lifts you up, He makes sure that everyone who ever doubted you sees it. So don't waste your energy wondering if they will ever get what they deserve. Trust that they will. Their downfall is already written. Their exposure is already in motion. And your victory, it is already secured. You don't need to fight battles that God has already won for you. All you need to do is keep rising, because when God's justice unfolds, it is silent but undeniable, and when He raises you up, the whole world will see it. At first, it felt like you were just another casualty in the narcissist's game. They drained you, manipulated you, made you question your worth, and walked away as if you never mattered. The pain they left behind was deep, the scars invisible but undeniable. You replayed every moment, every lie, every betrayal, wondering how someone could be so cruel, so heartless. But what if I told you that you weren't just a victim? What if I told you that you were chosen not to suffer, but to rise? Narcissists don't pick just anyone. They seek out those who carry something powerful, something they themselves lack: light, empathy, resilience, and divine favor. They are drawn to the chosen ones because deep down they sense something they can never have, a soul that refuses to be corrupted. They saw your strength before you did. They recognized your potential before you ever realized it, and that's why they tried so hard to break you. But here's what they never expected. You weren't meant to stay broken. The narcissist may have wounded you, but they also awakened something within you, something unstoppable. Every time they tore you down, you learned how to stand taller. Every time they made you question yourself, you discovered a deeper truth. Every time they tried to silence you, your voice became stronger. They thought they were destroying you, but all they did was force you into your transformation. And now, you are no longer the person they once controlled. You see the truth. You recognize the patterns. You understand their games, and you refuse to play them anymore. But your journey isn't just about your own healing. It's about helping others break free. Because here's the reality. You are not the only one who has suffered under the grip of a narcissist. There are countless others trapped in the same cycle of confusion and pain, believing that they are alone. They need to hear your story. They need to see that survival is possible. They need to know that there is a way out. And that's why God chose you, not to be a victim, but to be a beacon of hope. Your pain had a purpose. Your survival is proof that the narcissist's power was never real. It was only an illusion. And now, by rising above, you become a guide for others who are still lost in the darkness. So stand tall. Speak your truth. Show the world that no matter how hard they tried, the narcissist could not break you. You are living proof that light always overcomes darkness.